Welcome back. It's time for Overcoming Hurdles. Imagine spending more than 3 decades married to a narcissist. Laura Richards says that's what happened to her. She openly tells all in her latest book, Married to a Nice Guy, Getting Over Narcissistic Abuse. And today, she joins me to share how she's trying to move forward and how to know if your partner is waving some red narcissistic flags. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us this morning. So you overcame several hurdles. Your mom died in 2020, your sister-in-law in 2021. What did that period in your life make you realize and look at about marriage so specifically?
Well, I've just realized during that time really what an apathetic person my ex was. And we learned so much, didn't we? Being in the shutdown. And his lack of empathy and his apathy seemed to be ramping up during that time. And so during that time, I decided to go back to therapy because I had been grieving those losses that you talked about. And he was kind of pressuring me, thinking I wasn't getting over it fast enough. And so it was there in therapy that I kind of found my voice.
And one of the things you write about, you say that you had a marriage counselor say, he's handsome, why are you complaining?
Yes.
That sounds like a horrific experience to me.
Yes.
What guidelines do you have for someone who's looking for a therapist in terms of finding the right therapist?
Yeah, so you want to look for someone who understands emotional and psychological abuse, so you don't have to explain those things. If you're explaining them to them, they are not the right therapist for you. And you want to find a therapist that has the right tools for you in their tool belt and offer you different tools. And if you don't feel comfortable with that therapist, you are more than welcome to go find a new one. It's okay to do that. And some people think that they can't do that, but you can.
So you write about several things that you say are red flags that look like to watch out for in terms of wondering if someone is narcissistic. The first one you talk about is lacking empathy.
Yes. So this is not an exhaustive list, but these are some of the things that I have found. And with lacking empathy, it's an inability to offer genuine support, a dismissal of your feelings, and they may even use the emotional or psychological pain against you.
The second one that you talk about is won't seek therapy. Can you talk about that?
Yes. And it's not advised that you go to marriage counseling if you feel like you are being abused because of the imbalance of power in abuse, but they won't seek therapy because they don't take accountability. And I know that's something that we're going to talk about. They will often tell you that you are the one who has a problem, and that's because you are probably expressing a need in your relationship.
So when you say won't take accountability, tell me what that looks like.
So you'll often see things like they'll blame shift. So they'll turn it back onto you, saying, if you wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have reacted this way. They'll deny wrongdoing. They'll minimize the issue. It's all so that they can blame you, and then they don't have to take accountability. They may tell you you're too sensitive. It's not a big deal. And that's not what happened. You're imagining things. And that's one of the ways that they will just not take accountability for their actions.
You say another red flag is when they move fast with love bombing.
Yes. Yes. Look, there is a cycle of abuse, and love bombing is one of them. And love bombing, especially at the beginning, look, we've been taught wrong. We've been taught the fairy tales and to be swept off our feet, but it can be dangerous if they are pressuring you to move quickly. They may tell you that they love you quickly, or they may want to move in quickly, and they will maybe give you gifts all the time. This in and of itself is not a bad thing, but then when you are having the cycle of abuse, it becomes a pattern that is not good. And it can also look like excessive compliments and flattery, saying, I've never met anyone like you. And these are all okay, except that we've been taught wrong, and we think that we should be swept off our feet. Just slow down. You don't have to move quickly in a relationship.
Okay, so for a woman who's watching this morning and would like to know more about this, you have a podcast?
I do. I have a podcast called That's Where I'm At podcast, and I speak to other women who tell their story of overcoming abuse and give hope and healing to others.
Okay, Laura, thank you so much for sharing your story with us this morning. We appreciate it, and I know that a lot of our viewers probably resonate with a lot of things you said. Thank you very much.
Thank you.